Hi there, everybody. This is episode 9 of our Railroad for Beginners series, and we'll just get right into it here. So we got a couple different things we got to do today. So let's do a rundown on where we're at. This is engine number 6. He's sitting here we have him at a waypoint. He's waiting for the passenger train to go by. Passenger train is by, so we'll have number 6 come back down here and grab these, and we'll get the sawmill spotted up. Number 8 has the passenger train, very full passenger train. He's on the way up the hill to Dillsboro. And then number 9. End of our last episode, we spotted the pulpwood cars into Silva Paperboard and Parsons Tannery. So now we've grabbed our caboose. And, well, the first thing we need to do is we need to spin the engine around so we can start heading back out of town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this guy a waypoint to go up here. And he can figure out however he wants to go. He's doing that. Head down to the interchange. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. We're just going to have the engine come down here to the interchange. Because I think we're set up to go. We're Dillsboro's, and the Whittier car, and then a whole bunch of Brysons and an Ella on the back. Yeah. So we're going to have number 9 come down and just stick the caboose right on the back end of this train. Should fit. We'll see. Today we're going to just run this local train back up to Bryson, and we'll keep the passenger train shuttling back and forth, and we'll keep our switch engine feeding the sawmill. And then we're going to start talking get the racing cars sorted out, and then we're going to start talking about our next expansion. How we want to do that. Busy day today. To Hillsboro. Okay, let's cut back to number 9 here. That caboose should fit. We'll see. Be a little close. Oh yeah, plenty of room. So we'll look at the air turned around. Hang the markers up. And we'll have number 9 run around to the other end of the train here. thinking of it. I want to go see where number 8's destination is. Okay. Number 8, just in case, I'm going to bring into the depot track. Got a pretty good sized train headed back today. Most of it for Bryson. Okay. These brakes off. And I really don't want the freight train in front of the passenger train if we can help it. I just don't. So let's go ahead and bring passenger train on down and have him spin on the Y. Number 6 up here, that's right. 6 is tied on to his sawmill. Is that out? Nope. Wrong handbrake. Okay, here we go. Put this one on. Okay, and these cars, there's only 4 of them. I kind of like when I can to put them against this dock. I feel like, I don't know. That's why the customer would want them. So, they're going to go over here. Number 6, once he gets these done, is basically done for the day. Okay, backing up. Down the slide. You can see how kind of steep that is here. When we get the sawmill built up a little bit more and we're taking more stuff out of it. It's a little challenge. Moving ahead to spot the cars. How are we doing in coal? Oh, fine. We're good on everything. Pretty much. And these all fit easily. No problem. Get it in so that the door is against the dock there. That's good enough. Beautiful. Okay. So now, number 6 is pretty much done. So we're going to go over and have him get coal and water. But before that, passenger train is ready to spin around. So make it a cut, same as always. While he's doing that, we'll cut back to number 6 and we'll get number 6 put to bed. So the first thing we got to do, our equipment menu, go to repair destination. We want to repair him at the East Whittier repair track. Doesn't have a ton of repairs to do, but you want to stay in the habit of keeping up with it. Okay, in the clear, and now backing up. See, these are already starting to load with the flat car, just gets like a crate load on it. And one of the dev walks talks about more dynamic loads for flat cars. So we put them in manual. A little more. Slow them down just a little bit. Just want to get them right under the chute here. And that's good. Okay. We'll fill them up. I think it takes about 8 tons of coal, so we need around 2 tons for a full load. Also oil too, even though the engine shed will oil it, but it's a good idea to stay in the habit of oiling your engines when you're getting water. Just keeps it from sneaking up on you. The spout, I think this tender takes 5,500 gallons, so we need about 2,000. Which coal's left out plenty, but this hopper is still, I think, more than half full, so we're good. Yeah, for the engine based at East Whittier, the tender on the engine holds a couple days of coal, and then the loader itself holds 2 tons, which is like a day's worth. So once this hopper gets empty, you have plenty of time to get it down to the interchange, get reloaded, and bring it back up. So, all right, let's put the engine in the shed here. Now the passenger train's ready. We're just going to take care of this real quick. Where are we at? Oh, yikes. Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay, and we are all done with number 6 for the day. So we'll take the star off, uncheck him. Oh, so we'll check him real quick. There we go. Okay. So now number 8. Raise up the air. And we gotta set our passenger stops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We jump to Bryson City real quick. We have the engine. Let them stop here. Okay. And number 9. I'm going to set his waypoint. We need him to stop a little bit short of the Y. So, like here. And we jump to him. We turn his speed up. And away we go. Get some water in Dillsboro. Big drain today, lots of coal. Some of it is for the Bryson coal tower, which I think pretty desperately needs to be filled. But 2 customer coal cars too, I think. Year number 8, leaving Silva. That's good. We want him to run out in front of us. so we don't have to worry about him. Tie these brakes down. Close that. And let's spin the engine. Just clear this switch here. Throw, okay. Right now we have the waypoint in the middle. Yeah, there it is. Once he starts moving, I'll flip the waypoint over here. And there's like a 15-mile-an-hour limit in here. Ends here somewhere. Now that he's just about at the tail of the Y there, move the waypoint one more time to the train. Okay, and we're all clear of the switch. He's backing up. The auto engineers we've been over is kind of a selective whistler sometimes. Crossings are just choosing not to. These are emptying right out. Those over there, those are emptying too. You might have a lot of silver business tomorrow. At the rate those guys are going. What's the construction company doing now? Yeah, they're working away too. So when you jump right in at level 3 or tier 3 for a customer, you'll find that they empty out pretty quickly because the customer has like an internal stock that they fill. Okay, so our next stop, we want to stop just short of Dillsboro, and that's good. The passenger train's leaving. Keep him out in front of us. So we're going to come down and stop a little bit short of the switch here. it's so weird. I don't know why that does that. Rolling down grade here. Sometimes you can kind of see, when you head downhill, you'll see the train sort of bunch up against the engine, just like the real ones did. I can assure you of that. Basically just riding the brakes down the hill, as you can see. I like this scene here. Send up a little more air to slow down. One thing I don't know, and I haven't really figured out, is if the auto engineer is taking going downhill into account. I don't know that he is. I think it's just, he's just going off of, he wants to be at a given speed, at a given distance from where he wants to stop. So he'll just kind of set the air harder and harder and harder until he starts slowing down. That's my theory. I don't know if he really accounts for grades and all that. Because there are times he like overcorrects and will like slam the brakes on, and then they don't come off in time, and you end up stopped short of where you want to be. Okay, so I'll throw some brakes on here. Now we have our 3 Dillsboro cars. It's real easy because there's nothing in Dillsboro, so we pull up on the main line. I usually like to stop a little bit short of this crossing. Just have the engine come forward. Okay. So in this case, we're going to be grabbing them from this end. So we want to reverse the air here. And I want to bring the engine around and have the tender right around here, because we're going to get some water. We could get through the rest of the day without it, but why not? We're going to be going right by a water column anyway. I like this station too. I'm not sure why this one's different than the other ones. I don't know if it's based on the real station or not. But I like the design. You have the kind of passenger area here with a ticket window. And then you have a little like freight shed over here, even though Dillsboro actually does have its own freight house over here. The freight house is like the other ones. Like this is an early access game. A lot of stuff I'm sure is a work in progress. So. Let's put the engine in manual again. A little more. Whoa, too far. Oh, God. My bad. Now too far back. Oh, come on. A little more. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we want to grab onto the back end of these, and today it's real easy because there's nothing in Dillsboro to get out of the way. So we'll just pick these cars up and then we'll be on the move. So I kind of, when we rolled through town, I kind of went there. So this is the Locust Pin Company. It takes in lumber and puts out pins, I assume. They're listed as furniture, but I guess they're like pins. This is Dillsboro Fuel. Takes in 10 carloads of fuel, oil. And then this is the freight house. And it can be kind of a puzzle, because obviously if you want to pull or spot anything from the freight house, you got to move anything that's at the fuel company. So a little bit of a challenge. That does happen in the real world. I worked in areas where we had a running track that would have 3 or 4 customers on it with no way to get around. So if there was a car all the way in the back, you had to clear out the other 3 customers' cars. And of course, invariably, one of them, the car would be hooked up to the plant or something, so you'd have to go into the plant and find somebody to get it unhooked. It was, you might be there for 2 hours. You got paid by the hour, so. All right. So let's swing these guys over. I normally like to have a lumber car first out, but I'm not worried about it today. Because when we come back tomorrow, this car will be empty. This one probably won't be full. So it's okay. a stop in Whittier, and then the rest are Bryson. Oh, nope. We have one Ella back here. Okay. So it's going to be complaining about the coal. It's going to start yelling here in just a little bit. But, we'll be fine. There's plenty. All right. So let's go get this tank car spotted up. It can go like anywhere along these buildings. I like to, for the sake of realism, I guess. I like to try and get it next to the hoses, but it really doesn't matter. Those of you who can hear my associate producer in the background, I apologize. Contrary to what you hear, he in fact has been fed and has everything he needs. So, let's get this tied down. You can open this too. I'm not entirely sure what this does. Like, I assume that's how they fill it, maybe. I don't know. Tank cars always freaked me out. When I was with the railroad, I tried to stay clear of them. They're just annoying to switch. They're always full of this nasty stuff. Yeah. Try to keep your distance. You can see, so if you're shoving this car, you have to ride on it. All you have is this frame part to stand on, and you can hang on to this little grab iron. The new ones have like, it kind of goes across here, so they're a little bit better. Still not what you would call safe. Yeah. Eesh. I don't know. Best one was one of the railroad companies I worked for. We had a customer, I won't use their name. They made like frozen food and stuff, like prepackaged frozen food, like veggies and french fries and things. They would get these refrigerator cars in that had like, the refrigerator car had a generator on it to run the cooling plant or whatever. They had this nice big platform on top. Oh my God, you could set up a hammock up there. It's fantastic. Anyway, okay, so we're all back together. Our next stop is Whittier Depot. We're going to lay off of the crossing. So I'm going to have them come up to like here. Because our car is going to the Whittier house track, which is right here. So away we go. Quick check of the map to see where our passenger train is. I thought I saw him at his Wilmot. He did. Okay. So he's almost to Whittier. That's good. We're going to keep him out in front of us as much as we can. And then when the passenger train gets to the end of his run, we'll decide if we want to have him do another loop or not. I kind of tend to say not. mainly because I don't want the passenger train to be the last train running of the day. When I'm by myself, it's super boring. You just have to run the passenger train back before you finish the day. I already put number 6 to bed, but we're just going to check on the sawmill here. He's got plenty of cars. Okay. That's good. We'll feed him in the morning. Let's take a cab ride here. There we go. We'll cruise on back to Alright, so while we're rolling along here, we can talk about expansion. So, go to the map. All these other towns on the map here with no track going to them. That's the extent you can extend the railroad if you want to. Andrews has some really big industries. Nantahala has some. Malarca has a bunch. Before we can do that, main line ends here right now. Go to our location. not going to load up, obviously, but we can, while we're here, I'm full. Oh, wow, that is full. Okay. Well, all right. Furniture place will be nice and easy today. Anyway, so this is very similar to how Ella was, where there's a bridge that needs fixed. It'll take like 3 loads of cars, and then we get a bunch of track. This track, what that expansion gets us, it gets us to a place called Alarka Junction. I wonder if we can get there. Huh, we can. Look at that. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a station. How about that? I never looked at that before. Okay. So the next expansion gets us to here. It gives you a little bit further. Like you go down to like there's a place where you need a bridge. Like over here somewhere. But this is the main. We know we want to get here because once we get here, there's a pretty big customer we unlock that we want access to. Then from here, you can go in 2 directions. You can either keep going. Your next expansion gets you to Nantahala that has a bunch of industries. And then from there, you can expand again. There's a really steep grade that comes up past the Graham County to Topton. And then on into Andrews, where you get a way bigger interchange, and there's a bunch more customers. Or, well, I shouldn't say or, because you can do both. We could also go this way, out of Alarka, which goes up this way. And that gives you the Alarka branch, go through Cochrane, which is just a siding, pretty much, and then into Alarka itself. And Alarka has a bunch of customers and like an engine service facility. You can do both at the same time if you want to totally plug your interchange up with all the cars coming in. It's completely up to you. It also is like what kind of railroad, what kind of builds you want to do. If you want to do like a big like mainline railroad with signals and big engines and all that stuff, going towards Andrews kind of makes sense. I tend to like to keep my builds a little more like short liney, just so I can run them by myself without getting overwhelmed. I tend to go towards Alarka. Like I said, these are not mutually exclusive. You can do both if you want. But our next expansion, starting tomorrow, we're going to head from Bryson to Alarka Junction. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Fill this in, and then just as a little hint, there's another little branch line that comes up through here. There's another customer up here that we want access to for sure. So stay tuned. Speaking of staying tuned, this is episode 9 of our Railroader for Beginners series. We have some of the old episodes on Twitch, with all the rest are on my YouTube channel. We're going to go through this build, how I would do it, and then maybe after, if there's interest, we'll try something different. Do a build a little bit differently. Yeah. One of my favorite games, for sure. It's been in early access for, gosh, at least 2 years, if not longer. Still, some things are still a work in progress, but I think it's fun. I was a railroader for about 5 years. I was a conductor and then an engineer. It's not like a realistic like train driving simulator, but in terms of like decisions you have to make as a conductor, it's pretty accurate. I would say like Train Simulator is like an engineer simulator. This is like a conductor simulator, I guess is probably the best way to explain it. But you can also, there's dispatching if you want. If you want to put signals in. Yeah, good time. The other thing, as you can see, there's some pretty steep hills towards Alaska. So we can get by for now with the construction trains to Bryson. But once we get that bridge fixed, we're going to need something a little bigger. The funds cannot support it right now, obviously. We're going to have to keep working and save a little bit. All kinds of options here. Maybe not quite that big. Maybe not quite that big. There's a sweet spot here. Pull below 20%, yeah. That's fine. Past Thomas Valley siding. How's the passenger train making out, by the way? Oh yeah, he's almost to Bryson. I can do a little lap with the passenger train. We got a bunch of Bryson, but goal does look pretty alarmingly low, doesn't it? Maybe in the future, I'm using a mobile on a lumber train. Maybe I'll have them coal up at Whittier, just for safety. close that. I didn't close it. For those of you who don't know, I kind of throw this term around open or closed switch. So this switch right now is closed. It's going to its default. In this case, is up the lead. I wanted to open the switch, look like that. So, why is the freight train trying to go this way? No. No going through the yard. I don't know why it tries to do that. It's really annoying, but it's okay. As I was saying, so switch is closed right now. Open it. Some people call this normal and reversed. Whatever works for you. That's so annoying. I don't know why it keeps trying to do that. Passenger train's done. We'll get this industry taken care of and then we'll go deal with them. Okay, easing up to our stop here. Okay, make a quick cut. And we'll flip this car over. almost there. And the house track, you can see there isn't like a building or anything you have to aim for. You just kind of put it wherever. Tie it down. And we'll go back and grab our freight train. It's coming back. How are these here doing? Okay. You'll find as you roll along, you can kind of look and see how much customers have unloaded. You can kind of have a gauge of what tomorrow's going to look like. Okay, and okay. So our next stop is Ella. Other way. Whoa, whoa. Okay. I got a little cute and I left the Ella car in the back end because it just seemed like an extra move. So we're going to bring the whole train up into the siding here. Okay. So let's go up and we'll check in on our passenger train. So what we need to do, coaches, set them up to be repaired. Because you get passengers notice if you're not maintaining your coaches. And it gets, yeah, it's part of your reputation bonus. So you want to make sure when you're done for the day, you're putting your passenger cars on a repair track. So we're going to put these ones right here. These repaired, and this is number 8. So we'll get his silo ready, or stall, whatever. In the meantime, we need to get the turntable ready. So when you're in third person view, you hover your mouse over where you want to go and hit Control T, and your first person camera will appear there. Just for those who don't know. Turntable turned around. Okay. See, when you set an engine to be, or anything to be repaired, it acts like a way bill for anywhere else. So equipment, repair, Bryson repair track. See, now it's got to go to the Bryson repair track. And anywhere it's stopped, it'll get work done. Okay, I'm in road. Not that slow. There we go. Now we can slow down a little more. I usually right when the last axle gets onto the turntable, shut them off. There we go. Okay. Swing him over to the middle. Put this engine to bed. Perfect timing too, because it looks like our number 9's slowing down, which tells me he's in the Ella siding, and he'll be ready for us when we're done here. So, nice when a plan comes together sometimes. Okay. And stop. Just out of curiosity, I guess these are 2 hours of repairs that need done. So, all right, so we can uncheck him, take the star off, and we'll head back down to 9. And 9 is plenty clear, so we can just have 9 stop. Okay. So now we make our cut. I really probably should have had him back up this a little closer, but it's okay. It's fine. Much coal. Oof. Oh man, I don't know. We might have to get some coal when we get to Bryson. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like when we get there. and forth. If you have a student brakeman, you can use it's a little better because you can park him at one of the switches. If you trust him to be on his own, that is, which is not always the case. But yeah, when you're by yourself, I feel for our auto engineer right now. Is what I'm saying. Poor guy. I put him through a lot. Okay, so this is going to the house track, which is right over here. So we'll just put him right there. Okay. Almost clear. A little more. There we go. The conductor's super happy right now because the engineer's got the headlight coming right into his caboose. Okay. Anywhere in there is fine. Just, I kind of like to make sure the doors line up with this platform here. Just for the heck of it. Okay. So we'll set our caboose back over. You know what? Dumb. Why did I do this? Just the handbrakes. We'll just pretend I did it right the first time. They're coming right back around to go the other way. I could just put the handbrakes on the other end. Stupid. It's okay. So, good time to talk about coal management, since I failed at it today. Two things that burn your coal, three things. Going up and downhill, and accelerating. So, the three things will be stopping and starting. Usually when you're just rolling along, you shouldn't be using too much coal. If you are, you probably just need a bigger engine. So I should have known better, is my point. If I was a full-size engineer and I let fuel go down this far, I would be in some trouble, and I deservedly so. Okay, make this cut. The Christmas light is only a suggestion for the empty tank. It's true. It is. You find yourself stalled in the middle of nowhere. I was not a steam engineer, obviously. I'm not quite that old. Ours were diesels. We had one that would insist it was out of fuel. And you go down and look at the tank, and the tank has a gauge on the side. It would say there's fuel in there. So you would have to do is you'd have to go back up. You'd open up the engine compartment. There was a spot on the engine itself, and you would hit it really hard with a pipe wrench, as hard as you could. And if you got it in just the right way, whatever was clogged would come unclogged, and the engine would come right back on like nothing had ever happened. It was really bizarre. No one could come up with any explanation for it. The mechanics have been all over it, but I don't know. These engines, especially on short lines in this country, our engines tend to hang around for a long time. There's one kind of near me that has a locomotive that's from 1952. So they kind of run until they die. You get some kind of interesting scenarios. We had another one. You had to shut it off for like a while before you were done with it, because the turbo sometimes could start the engine back up on its own if it didn't have enough time to spin down. So you could shut the engine off, go home for the night, and come back the next day and the engine's running. Really kind of creepy. So. Anyway, the trials and tribulations of short line railroading. Okay, so Bryson, I normally don't like to come in on track 3 because track 3 has a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. So what happens is the engine comes in, opens the switches, and then goes, oh, wow, the speed limit's dropped to 15, and slams the brakes on. Becomes this whole thing. So track 2 has no speed limit. So I like to have the engine pull up on track 2, and then we'll switch the train out. So that's what we're going to do. Set up our waypoint, get the air pump down, pumped up, and away we go. A little bit upgrade to get to the bridge, so you hear the engine struggling just a little bit. It's a little bit upgrade more to Governor's Island. So we're going to be scraping the bottom of the tundra. It'll be okay. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about that. Don't below 10%. Relax. It's gonna be okay. Downhill from here, as they say. We're going to, coming into Bryson, we're going to try and get through switching with the coal we have on here. I think it'll be fine. but we'll see. If it does run low, we can show you a kind of cheat there is to fill it back. We're up to our stopping point now. Let's take a minute and think about this. What I like to do in Bryson is split cars between what gets switched from one side versus what gets switched on the other side. So in Bryson, our only industry that faces this way is this one, Bryson Coal and Lumber. Which happily, the cars for this company are right here, or Lumber, Coal, and Supply, excuse me. Which the cars are already on the head end, happily. So then we're going to do that first. Then we're going to come around, we're going to grab this train on the back end and work our customers that face the other way. Okay, so. And what we can do, I have no idea if this is legal or not in like the real world. I kind of doubt it, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to spin the turntable here and use it as like a switching lead to get in because we can. There's no train master here to stop us. Not that they would care anyway. They would just tell you get it done unless something went wrong, and then they'd want to write you up for it. Usual move when the train master, who's like a supervisor, told you to do something that you didn't think was a very good idea. Say, no problem, can you just write that down for me? Just write down that you're telling me to do that. No big deal. It did get me out of trouble once. Given an instruction that I thought was not going to end well, and I'll just do it. Okay. So he signed it. Hilarity ensued, and then in the investigation meeting afterwards, I had my little piece of paper. So here you go. I said that I think this is a good idea. He told me to do it anyway. I still got some time off, but it was only a week instead of 30 days. And when you work on call on the railroad, a week off is not a punishment at all. So it was, yeah. Too fast. So we'll spot up the boxcar, come over and grab the empty coal, grab the loaded coal, spot the loaded coal, and shove the empty coal back down. Yeah, we'll put it down here, I guess. Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, tie that down. Nah, we're not going to refuel. We're going to make it. It's going to be okay. We're going to go for it. It's gonna be fine. Or maybe not. I don't know. If it's not, we'll show you how to get out of it. So it's a win-win either way. This is also another problem that'll go away when we get some bigger engines in upcoming episodes. Will not go away, but I love the random. So a Santa Fe coal load coming to North Carolina. They couldn't find any coal anywhere in Appalachia, so they had to reach out to the Santa Fe and ship one from, I assume, Colorado. What do we got over here? We have another one here, Atlantic Coastline coal. The Atlantic Coastline went down to like Florida, famously a coal carrier. Okay. So we have this. Now we just got to spot this loaded car back up here. Put it like here. Should be fine. Okay, almost there. Well, we're definitely there. I just kind of like to keep it out over the beginning. Okay, just for the heck of it, we'll open the hatches there. There we go. Yeah, we gotta close them on this one. Almost forgot. Okay. All right. And now, what to do? Okay. Put this car down here. How are we doing? Okay, still 0.7. We'll be okay. That's far enough right there. We're not going to push all the way down to the end of the track. That's silly. Waste of time. Okay, now I want to go down and get on the other end of the freight train. Let's kill these marker lights. And backing up. That is the downside of coming in on track 2, is you got to back up just a little bit further, and there's another crossover you got to get to get on the back end. So what I could have done is pulled up and switched the train out, which is probably what I would do if we had cars going beyond Bryson. But for here, it's fine. Or if those two Bryson coal, lumber, and supply cars hadn't just happened to be on the front end. Bryson doing on repair parts, by the way? Oh, money. Okay. See down here, it tells you what jobs it's working on and how many tons of parts that the estimates it's going to take. Okay. All right. So now we start spotting these cars up. Our first stop is going to be the coaling tower. So we'll just push the train. I just wanted to get the train clear of the crossover. So like here, should be fine. That's far enough. So let's get this tied down. We'll get these coal hoppers spotted up. First two anyway. What else do we have in here? It's all Appalachian hardwoods, right? Yeah. Oh, and then the tank car. Tie him down, that'll start filling up the coaling tower. You don't get any money for that delivery, obviously, because it's the railroad delivering to itself. But we're right on the edge, but it'll be okay. Okay, so our first drop is standard oil. Fly down over here. And these are all coming, right? Yeah, they are. Okay. Easy today in Bryson. Assuming we have enough fuel. Okay. So our first stop is Standard Oil. Normally, I mean, you could fish this car out, put the new fresh one in, but my theory is, so it's a customer track, right? So this car's already hooked up and everything. So we don't want them to have to move it if they don't have to. So that's, I don't know. That's how I think it would go. Don't know what these tracks are supposed to be. I suppose it's TPD. Looks like it could be some kind of customer or house track or something. would say, yeah. So for pretending this car is hooked up, we don't want to couple up to it. So we'll leave that in the clear. I don't know. It sounds good in my head. So now we got to put these over here so we can go in and pull the outbounds. These, of course, are in like exactly the backwards order from how I'd want them, but it's all right. It's fine. Yes, this is going to be our next expansion here. Starting tomorrow, we'll be putting loaded cars here on this track. And they'll start rebuilding the bridge and putting track back in. Headed up the grade there. So exciting stuff. But all that being said, we're getting towards the end of a day here with just the Silva to Bryson expansion. This day has been over 6 hours. It's going to be pushing 6.5 by the time we're done. So you can expand just this far and get plenty of play value out of it. No question. You have 3 crews. You have your local freight running, passenger train pinging back and forth, the switcher feeding the mill. I've done plenty of builds that just go this far and so don't feel like you have to expand beyond what you need to. Because it can get kind of overwhelming. You have a lot of stuff going on. Okay. So just want to get these in the clear. I think. Oh yeah, we're gonna be fine. Yeah, that's good enough. All right. These are all headed out. Perfect. So yeah, Norfolk and Western coal car. That makes sense. I can get behind that. I know. It's okay. It might be okay. Although half a ton, I mean, that's 1,000 pounds. It's going to be all right. We're almost done. Okay, now we got to clear out this track. We got a car load of outbound furniture and an empty coal car. one couple. And another one. All right, got them all together. Now we'll come out, grab our train. What I'm going to do, so the first car is the hardwood car, the lumber car. It goes on the inbound track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spot this car up where it goes. These are going to G3A, but this one needs to be behind them at G3B. So what I'm going to do is put the lumber car where it goes, leave these cars hitched up to it, flip this car over onto G3 and not go down and spot it up, but just put it over here. Come back and grab these two, tie back onto the hopper, and then we'll spot everybody up. So, sound like a plan? Good. Okay. Okay, perfect. So now that one's spotted up. Should get paid for it. There it goes. Swing this coal car over out of the way real quick. almost. There we go. Now we'll swing back over and pick up the empty boxes. We'll be ready to finish this up. Now the hopper car goes basically all the way down to the end of the track, and then the two empty boxes just need to be like alongside this loading dock here. Okay, take the handbrake off. Yeah, I want it like right down at the very end. Okay, done. And we got paid for one of these hardwood cars. So we'll just use the yard function, just have it back up 2 car lengths. One car length probably would have been okay, but that's good enough. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and I'm going to show you why. Pull down to the end of this track, which hopefully should give us enough room. I think it will. Cut our caboose off. Put the cars over here. Run around the caboose, grab it on this end, and then put the caboose on the repair track. Should all work. We'll see. We have coal too, so we're okay. close to the end here. We'll get these cars put away, we'll get the engine put away, and then we'll get our next expansion in motion. We'll be ready to start. There we are now. We're on day 5, so yeah, we'll start day 6. Really appreciate those of you who've been following the series, both here on Twitch and on YouTube. If you like what you see, you want to throw me a like, that helps me out a lot. If you want to see more, throw me a subscribe, that helps me out too. Really appreciate the support. And we'll look to keep these things going here. Little switchman's shack here. I don't know if you can get into it. I don't think you can. Let's find out. You can. Oh my goodness. It's kind of neat. There we go. We'll just get that clear. That should be fine. Throw a brake on. And it's just 3 cars, so we'll just, I don't know, call it right there. Meantime, we'll set this to be repaired. It really needs it. Why not? Okay. We'll just try and get these in the clear, and then what we'll do tomorrow, we'll tie a caboose onto that car down here. We'll run around and we'll shove them together then. It's not worth it right now. Okay, that's probably fine. Cool. Okay. Make our cut. Come back up here. Get on this end of the caboose. These 4 cars will be our outbound train tomorrow morning. Okay. And we had 0.4 tons of coal. It's fine. I told you it was going to be fine. See, I knew the whole time that everything was going to be totally fine. I don't know what everybody else was so worried about. Okay. Now we'll put this on the other repair track. Okay. And then, we're actually going to have 5 cars ready to go tomorrow. This car is empty. We'll make that move tomorrow. Pull this one out, spot this other one on the tower, and that will also empty out because the tower holds at like 150 tons. Uh-oh, forgot I moved our little guy. Gotta put him back. Run. Okay. Phew, we made it. What is this track? I've never had anything way build to go in there. It doesn't come up on locations anywhere. So I'm sure it's a TBD, some kind of future destination track. Be interesting. It would give you another west-facing industry in Bryson to work. So. Maybe some kind of ramp track. I don't know. We will find out. So let me go into our engine here. Set the engine up to be repaired. This is number 9, so I want him in this one. These repaired already? Oh, they are. Okay. Cool. You can also see when a car needs repaired, this roof gets a little faded. You can see some kind of dirt. And that gradually goes away as it gets fixed. So you see the passenger cars are all shiny. Road. Yeah, in the real world, if you brought an engine in with this low on fuel, there would be some problems. But it's my railroad, so I do what I want. So it's fine. I like to try and stop the stack underneath the exhaust, just for appearance's sake. Usually, if you hit stop right when it crosses under it, yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay, a couple little pieces of business we got to take care of. So what are our milestones? Bryson Bridge, line to Fontana. Start. So those should show up next time the interchange gets serviced. And we'll head down to the Silva interchange. I always like to zoom back so you can see the whole thing. Settings, open time window, and sleep. 44 cars on the interchange. Okay. So this is what we have cut out for us tomorrow. A whole bunch of Brysons, quite a bit of Silvas. And we made a little bit of money too, so that's good. But all right, thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Like I said, if you can throw me a like, I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see more, and you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate that too. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.